My biggest weakness is emotional intelligence, and when I get to the point of closing a deal or negotiating the final number, I feel like that really holds me back. So when I first heard about this book, Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss, I was a bit worried that it wouldn't be right because it sounded a little bit, like Getting to Yes, those sorts of books where it's about winning or strong arming the negotiation. But I couldn't really have been more wrong. This is a negotiating book, by all means, but ultimately it's an empathy book. It's a book about building rapport, about understanding what it is that people actually want, even when they're not saying it. You've had those conversations where someone says one thing, but they actually want the opposite. And because I know that my emotional intelligence isn't that good, I feel like I have to work extra hard at it. And that's one of the things that this book has been really useful for. Chris Voss was formerly the chief FBI hostage negotiator. That is, all around the world, if anyone was taken hostage, he would be in charge. Now, as you can imagine, with that sort of situation, you can't really split the difference. You can't say, "Oh, give us, all of the people." They say no, and you say, "Oh, let's meet in the middle." doesn't work like that. And in a similar way, when I negotiate, when any of you negotiate with work, there is a way to get a fair price, to get what is fair and what you deserve in a way that's not strong-arming, which doesn't make the other person get their back up. And it's just a very human way that I suppose, having to learn until it becomes natural. This book's really good because it's got a lot of practical things that you can do. The challenge of that is I feel like I need to read this book like 5 times, or just have it like put up on posters around the wall, because there's so many different things that when I'm having a conversation now, I feel like I should be remembering them, and I'm like, oh, I should have done that or this or that. Maybe that just comes naturally with anything you learn, that you're trying to implement it, especially when it's a social thing. But I would suggest, if you're the sort of person like me where, certainly if sales isn't a natural thing for you, but also emotional intelligence, I know that's one thing that I've sort of struggled with for a while, then pick up this book, because it's really, really useful, and it'll help you to get what you're worthy of in a negotiation, whether that's buying or selling. I know that's not much of a review, but I don't want to give anything away really, apart from there's some really cool examples of where this has been used with people that are hostile as well. So worth a pick up. That is Negotiating as Your Life Depended on It, or Never Split the Difference, by Chris Voss, with Tal Raz.